Hello there, greetings from Zerzex IT Training App project. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the another concept called array. So we'll try to discuss the different types of array, and we'll try to practice some of the simple example using the array technique. First and foremost, okay, it's very important to know what exactly the array is. A array is a large group or number of things. A group of numbers, it can be symbols, etc. that are arranged in a row or columns. It can be a way of organizing piece of information in the memory of a computer, so that the similar kind of informations are together. The As far as Julia is concerned, so we can work with different types of a array. It can be a one dimensional array, or you can work with a multi-dimensional array also. As far as one dimensional array is concerned, there are different types of one dimensional array, like integer type of array, a floating type of an array, string type, okay, inbuilt keywords also we can use, or any type of array we can execute using Julia programming language. Simultaneously, we'll try to see the multi-dimensional array also. Let's start with the first one dimensional array. So as far as one dimensional array is concerned, so first we will try to practice integer type of an array. Let me try to write here integer type of an array Okay, as far as integer type of array is concerned, so we can declare integer type of an array in Julia using the simple statement. Let's say my statement B, let's say my statement B. So what I will do, I'll try to have one variable called a1, okay, and I'll try to assign the array values like 1 in the bracket 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So all my are if you check the numbers, all are integer type of an array, and I'm going to store all these 5 digits in the variable called a1 variable. Okay, so let's try to execute this. The moment when it execute, so it is going to, all this 5 digit is going to store in the array name called a1 here. So now you can see here, as far as arrays is concerned, I have stored the 5 digits 1 to 5 in the array a1, and it has listed out. Okay, and if you check the type of arrays, it's showing like integer 64 bit. Understood? In the same way, it is also possible to display the single value or the single element of an array by using the technique of indexing. So what I will do, a of 1, okay, and I'll give the index as 0 here. So the moment after that, just try to hit on shift and enter it. So it will display me the first number, the first element, which is stored in the index a1 of 0, which is nothing but a1 here. So I have mentioned here a of 1 of 0. So that means the indexing here starts from, in Julia programming language, indexing starts from the 1, not from the 0. Let's try to, in the same way, we'll try to execute a1 of a1 of, let's say the index you try to give as 1. Let's see whether it gives me the value as 1. It has given me the value as 1. Indexing starts, as far as Julia is concerned, indexing starts from the 1 here. Similarly, let's try to display the second element of my array a1 of 2. Okay, it should give me the value result as 2. It has given me the result of 2 here. So this technique fall under the category of integer type of an array. In Julia programming language, it is also possible to have floating values. Okay, so let me try to have in comment float type of a value, float type of array here. Okay, as far as float type of array is concerned, so we can have the floating values in array is concerned. Again, I'll try to create one more variable here, new variable called say a2, and I'll try to assign some of the values, okay, like say 1 comma 2.0 comma let's say 3.0, let's say 7.0. Okay, in the same way I'll try to have 9.0 or 9.12 here. So shift and enter it. Let's try to see, okay, how the elements are displayed in floating type of an array using Julia programming language. So now you can see it has displayed me, it has given me the elements like 1.0. I had given only one here, but when it comes to the floating point array, okay, it has added 1.0 here. Similarly, if you want to access the individual element of an array, so you can use the techniques of indexing here. So right now I'll try to display the fourth element of my floating type of an array. So let's say a2 of 4, it should give me the element as 7.0 here. Okay, it has given me the element as 7.0. In the same way, let's try to display the fifth element of the floating type array here using floating type array technique. So it has given me 9.2 here. Okay, so in the same way, it is also possible to have the collection of string array. Okay, so to have the string array, so let me try to create one variable. Let's say, let me try to write in comments string type of an array, string type of an array, string type of an array. Okay, so again I'll try to create one variable, let's say s1, and my array, the values are the arrays are, let's say I. Always remember, when it comes to string, you have to mention the elements in double quotes here. I, let's say love Julia. Okay, Julia. So let's try to shift this one. That means in S1 string type of an array, I have three elements like I, love, Julia. Let me try to execute this. It started executing. So if you want to access this element, which is of string type of an array, so we can use the same indexing technique how we have used in our previous examples. So it has given me three elements like I, love, Julia. Okay, and it has given me the type of an array, which is nothing but string type of an array here. So if you want to display using the indexing technique, so you can use s1 of, let's say I want to display the second element of my string type of an array. Okay, so I'll mention the string s1 of 2. So it should give me the element, it should display me the element as a love here. So it has displayed me the element as a love here. Understood? In the same way, there is another technique, okay, which supports which supports in Julia programming language. We can have the arrays of functions also, or inbuilt key also. Let me try to write in comments. Let's say, okay, I want the arrays of functions or inbuilt keywords, or let's say functions. Okay, functions. So let's try to have one more array. Let's say f1 is going to be the variable name here. Okay, and I'm going to store the functions like, let's say print, okay, and let's say print ln, as well as print styled, print styled. Okay, print styled. Let's try to execute this print style. It started executing. Now you can see it gives me the elements like the print ln and print style, and the type of the array is, it is mentioned like function type of an array. Similarly, we can access using the same technique like how we have used in our previous the examples. Let's say f1 of I want to display the second elements of my function type of an array. So it should give me the value as print ln here. You can see here print ln, which is a generic function with the three methods. Okay, it gives the complete detail of the function called, okay, the print ln. It is also possible, there is another technique called any type of an array. Okay, so where I can add integer type, floating type of value, and function type of an value. Okay, is called that array is called any type of an array. Any type of array. Any type of array. Shift and enter it. Let me try to have in comments. Okay, any type of an array. So here I'll try to create one variable. Let's say a3 is equal to next 1 comma, I'll try to have floating point now 4.34. okay, in the same way I'll try to use one the string here, Julia. Okay, Julia. Next shift and enter it. Let's try to save all these three elements in array called a3. Started executing. Let's see how it will display, what type of array it is going to display as far as Julia. You can see here it gives me the element like 1, which is of integer type, 4.34, which is of floating type, and Julia, which is nothing but the string type. That means it supports, Julia programming language will support for mixed form of the array also. Suppose in the same way, if you want to access the element, okay, we can use the same indexing style e of 3, and let's say I want to display, or I want to fetch the array element which is in the third position. Okay, let's say, okay, nothing but Julia. It gives me the value as Julia here. Generally we can work with the array in Julia programming language, which is nothing but we can have integer type of an array, we can have floating type of an array, we can have string type of an array, even we can have mixed form of an array. Okay, as well as it is also possible to have the array of the functions also, as far as one dimensional array is concerned. In the same way, next we'll try to practice two-dimensional array using the Julia programming language. So what I will do, let me try to have one heading here. Okay, multi-dimensional or two-dimensional array technique here. Hold, let me try to take one heading. Let's say 2D array or multi-dimensional array, two-dimensional arrays using Julia. Let's try to execute two-dimensional array using the Julia. Let's say, as far as two-dimensional arrays are concerned, we'll try to see, okay, is it possible to store the matrix using the Julia programming language. I'll try to create one variable, let's say array of 2D, okay, two-dimensional array. So if you want to store two-dimensional array, let's say, okay, we can make use of the semicolon. Let's say 1 2 3 4, okay, which is nothing but my first record. Okay, in the same way, if you want to have the second record in the second row, so you can use semicolon here, which will allow us to store the record in the second row. 5 6 7 as well as 8. Let's try to execute this. Let's try to execute. Okay, it started processing. Now you can see, so after the successful process of the elements, it gives me the value as 1 2 3 4, as well as in the next record, in the next row, it gives me the value as 5 6 7 8, and the array type is, it is of integer type, and it has stored, it is mentioned here 2 into 4 values, 2 records, okay, 2 rows into 4 records in individual records. In the same way, let's try to have vectors also. Let's see whether it is also possible, whether it is possible to process vector data using Julia programming language. I'll try to have the array like a variable like vector of 1. I'll try to store some elements in the vector format which has both directional and the magnitude. Let's say 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, 5. Let's see how it is going to store the values in Julia programming language. Have a look on this. Okay, it is of array type. There are 5 elements, 1 2 3 as well as 4. Okay, it is also possible. Julia support to create the random variables in using the array techniques. Let's try to create the random. Let's try to generate the random elements using the Julia programming language. I'll try to create one more simple variable. Let's say array of random variable. Ran. Okay, random variable equals to. You can use the function, say method called rand, rand, and I'm going to generate, okay, 5 elements here using random method. Shift and enter it. Let's see what values I'm going to get using random variables. Have a look on this. It has generated, it has given me some random variables with the random values using rand method using the array technique in Julia programming language. It has given me the type is an array here, and the type of is the float 64 here. In the same way, it is also possible to have two dimensionals. Okay, I'll try to create one more variable. Let's say array of random2 equals to, again I'm going to use the same method called rand, and I'm going to have the values in 3 cross 3 matrix, 3 into 3 matrix. Let's see how the values are going to display using Julia programming language. Now you can see clearly it has generated the 9 records, 9 elements here, which is in 3 into 3 cross matrix, and the type is floating point 64 bit. I hope you are clear with the concept of array technique using Julia programming language. If you like this video, please subscribe our channel to get update about latest technologies which are available in the market. Thank you very much.